Perky is a low key rapper. He has like a couple rap songs out.
Where? Spotify? SoundCloud?
Dude, if I showed you, it actually bumps.
Is that his nickname too?
Perky? Does he go by Prkusic?
Just bring it up.
Welcome back to Pucks in Deep. We got episode number 70 here. I'm your co-host, Connor Thelman.
And I'm your co-host, James Murray. Connor, what do we got for us this week?
We got a big one, kind of a somber occasion. Yeah. We are still kind of glass half full, so we're mixing it in, but obviously some big Robert Morris news this week. So we got on two former Cappies. We got Nick Prkusic as well as Lexi Templeman, both captains of this year's Robert Morris teams for the men's and women's, as well as a goaltender GOAT in Justin Kapelmaster, another RMU record setter there.
All great people. You know, this is a great episode. All first class people, and it's too bad that they're being put through this. I know a couple of them are now alumni, but just for, in regard to all the student athletes there, and especially the hockey teams who now lost their program, we're sorry, and it's not right. But hopefully we can fix this with this episode. Get
shed some light on it,
shed some awareness. Yeah, so.
It's one thing that, because you see the press release, so that's the big story of jumping back. We haven't done a recap or anything in a couple weeks here, but that's been the biggest college hockey news, and it was kind of a when the press release went out there, you could tell the president of the university, Dr. Howard. We're just gonna call him Howard this episode, so if you hear that, that's what we're referring to.
Yep.
He kind of just mentioned it all casually. It's the centennial year. We're trying to do this to move the school in the right professional direction. It was a strategic initiative. Just a bunch of bullshit with not realizing there's like 60 to 100 lives being affected by this decision. I mean, these are two very respected programs that started in 2005 and 2006, I think, respectively, and they've just taken off since. So, we're trying to rally the troops here because it's got to be changed.
It's going to take everyone, that's for sure. But I think they're on the right step, with the GoFundMe and just, people tweeting, voicing their opinions over Twitter, Instagram, whatever it may be. It's it's sad, but that's all we can really do is voice our opinions right now, and it's especially for the players too. They just need all the help they can get. Like we talked about many times in this episode. The biggest one for me that was shocking was Big Cat from Barstool. Just throwing that out there, getting people going.
16 Big Cat. Grinelli was tweeting it. I mean, you saw it from everywhere.
I mean, there's the people that needed to say something have said something. Now you hear it from the NHL, and I don't know what else you need, without, plus the support from the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Steelers. And
the city of Pittsburgh clearly wants them back. There's a lot of companies that, own rinks in Pittsburgh that have been reaching out, trying to see, how can they help fundraise? How can they, offer more ice time or work with them to build this new rink that they do need. They're the only college hockey team playing in a community rink, which we touched on with Kapelmaster as well in the interviews. You're going to want to listen to that. But, I mean, they're still, even despite that, they're still one of the best teams in Atlantic hockey year after year, or the college hockey America for the women's team year after year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just think of what happens once they get a rink that they can both use.
And like we talk about in this episode, both programs are now, it's too late in the season or off season. They're kind of screwed for transferring. I mean, so it's all around shit show right now. It's bad.
Especially we also touch on it. I think it was with Prkusic, is that the Atlantic is an older league. It's guys that have aged out of junior. They don't have a whole lot of options. Like, they can't go back to juniors this late in the game. A lot of teams,
right?
I mean, you're seeing programs dropping left and right in Division I, and then it's just so late. So hopefully they can get to it. I mean, I would like to see Lexi mention in hers that maybe just 1 year for these players to help them, get some tape so they can transfer to another school if you just really hate hockey, which is kind of the vibes I'm getting from,
Howard,
Dr. Howard here. It's a hockey school. You gotta own up to it. So yeah, it's unfortunate what's happening there, but that kind of, we dive into it. We have some ups and downs in these interviews, but everybody has a nice opinion, and just trying to shed some light on it. So yeah, that's kind of the interviews we got here. You want to listen to all of them. They all have a unique perspective because, it's different years. Justin's obviously graduated. Nick just finished his final season, and Lexi was hoping to come back. Maybe she still can for her final season. So it's different, scenarios there. But as far as, what's happening in college hockey in the last week or two here, big news broke today, actually, with Philae Lindbergh, the winning goaltender of
wild prospect,
the UMass dynasty built there. Yeah, he chose that he's not coming back for his final season there with UMass. Instead, Matt Murray's going to be at the helm, former pod guest.
Yep.
Not a big deal. I mean, maybe they run it back there, but yeah, and he's having trouble signing with the Wild right now. They didn't come to an agreement.
Well,
so
they got a lot
he might
of goalies,
might be a free agent there. So kind of shaking it up a little bit, and a lot of UMass guys that aren't coming back now. It's just Bobby Trevino and Matt Murray at the top of my head. I mean, they lost a lot of dudes.
Yeah, Zach and Chow and Gods, and they'll still be good. They got carbs there, so But yeah, I mean,
and Carson.
Other than that news, I mean,
gone.
Oh yeah, God.
Dude, I'm saying a lot of guys, so maybe that opens up the Hockey East a little bit, but then you don't want to doubt UMass either. I'll just say that.
I just think, I don't know, man. St. Thomas might be a good contender this year because they're just going to get so many good transfers. They're going to get so many good transfers. Why would you not want to go to a private school?
Take. I love St. Thomas.
They just don't have the rink, but like, this is the best year to join the league.
They do have SoFo.
This is the best year to join the league because they have the portal to choose from. They have a portal of players that are the best players from every conference.
Yeah, but I mean, you're going to a new school, not a lot of funding. I mean, like,
not a lot of funding. It's $50,000 a year to go there.
I get that. I'm saying it's what's built right now. Do they have a Division I rink right now?
They don't have a rink right now, but they can.
I know. I'm just saying that's the argument.
Yeah, no, but
I'm not rooting against them. I want them to build that up.
They'll be giving the Gophers a fight.
They're going to be good in a couple of years. Bold take. I like it.
Yeah.
I mean, we need more contenders in Minnesota. I mean, we already got all 5 in the tournament this year. Why not make it 6?
Could happen.
Yeah. So we're rooting for that. Otherwise, there really hasn't been a ton of news. There's NHL playoffs going on right now.
The lottery was tonight. It looks like I'm guessing I'm going to say Power goes, but if I was a GM, I'd pick Beniers, but I think Power goes to Buffalo. There, so
yeah, they need some serious help there, and Power's a big boy, so maybe he locks it down in the DN there.
But maybe he just never leaves Michigan if he gets drafted by Buffalo.
That'd be a smarter move. Yeah, I mean, you want to stay at Yost.
No.
Like Billy Madison, stay here.
Oh, that's other news. They might be changing the name of the Yost. That might be
really.
Yep.
To what?
I don't know yet, but they said
that's some bullshit
due to past history and all that. Yeah.
Well, maybe I'll stay on the safe side and say good call.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Good call. No, it's definitely a good call. I think,
Okay.
but will be finalized soon. I'm guessing. But other than that, I know schedules have came out around every conference. I saw BC's today, CC's, Denver's. But now it's time for us to plan a trip. The schedules are out all around the league. So now we have 100% capacities came out from Michigan. Minnesota. So, student sections will be back next year. We got college hockey. It's back a couple months.
Yeah, things are opening up. I mean, it's summer, but it's going to be hockey season right around the corner here. That's why we want to help you guys out. Put some money in your pockets, make everybody, green, that summer bod coming out, and start spending that dough. And, where can they get all this money, James?
Yeah, Connor, you want to download the top-rated DraftKings app now and use promo code THPN when you sign up to get your free shot at $10,000 in total prizes every day for the hockey playoffs. Head to DraftKings pool page to get your shot at a huge cash prize. That's promo code THPN for a limited time only at DraftKings.
There it is. Wow.
There we go.
Take them, baby. All right. And now, Bobby Moe. Now joining us in our special Bobby Moe Pucks in Deep podcast here, we have the all-time GOAT in net. We got Justin Kapelmaster, current free agent GOAT. Whoever wants to sign him, I mean, Wild.
Yeah.
I'm just going to throw that in there. You like Minnesota, Justin, I'm hoping, but, just welcome to the pod.
Thanks, boys. I appreciate it. I'm excited to be on. Excited to finally meet you guys, honestly. I thought this was going to be the roast of Johnny Lazarus, but I guess we're going to support Bobby Moe instead.
Well, it's going to be a little bit of both. Yeah, we can touch on that. I think it's kind of been the running joke that everywhere Laz goes shuts down, and I think his trickle into the Atlantic might have led to Bobby Moe's destruction. Care to comment?
One thing I do want to say about Laz, I love the kid to death. Shout out the Locker Room Podcast. I'll shout it out early, boys. I got to.
Yeah. For sure.
But when I played at Mercyhurst, when I was in Robert Morris, he would call me and text me, send me about 1 million texts before the game while I was in the locker room to try and get in my head. And then we'd go out there and smoke Mercyhurst every night.
He never scored on you, right? Like I didn't look it up. I don't think I had to. No. Okay.
Unfortunately, he didn't. But for some reason, I have something like my boys always tend to get a point or something against me. We played against AIC earlier in the year. 2 buddies on the team, Jeff Baum and Austin Albrecht, both scored in the same game. So that was pretty upsetting.
Ah, shit. You're just letting them have it, though.
Yeah. Oh, please. Yeah. Are you kidding me?
Just team chemistry.
I got to build the momentum. It's the only goal they scored in the whole year.
True. There you go. Yeah. Keep them around. Otherwise, they'll, run away like James is doing right. What are you looking at right now? You look so lost.
I'm touching the audio up. God, don't cut me off here. But I'm just thinking right now. Johnny's sitting in the stall. I was like, all right, I'm gonna get like 2 minutes this game. I'm gonna text the starting goal as much as I can here. See what I can do for the boys.
So it started as one game we played at Mercyhurst. We were like talking before the game, and I guess we went out there and won. And then the coach, I guess, came up and said something. Like, why are you talking to Kapelmaster for the game? You guys can't be buddy. You know, you got to go out there and beat him. And so then the next game, like, I just remember, like, I was going to go say hi to Johnny. Like, he's one of my best friends, like, before the game, just like, you know, good luck. And he was, like, avoiding me from the opposite side of the rink. Like, I was, like, looking at him. And he, like, I'd, like, walk towards him, and he'd, like, walk the opposite way. I was like, what is this kid doing?
He's like, I don't want to sit tonight, man.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to get scratched tonight, Kathy, please.
Oh shit! Wait,
but that can happen at Mercyhurst. We were talking about just the Atlantic rinks, and like what rink was it? Robert Morris? It was where the
with the community rink.
The community rink. I mean, is it weird playing in a community rink?
Yeah.
Honestly, like, yeah. I mean, coming from Ferris, like the Ferris rink, we had an amazing fan base. And
right.
Robert Morris, we had an amazing fan base too. It was just different. Like the rinks were just more like you said, Robert Morris was more community based. So we had so many kids at the games. Like that was the coolest thing. Like we'd go warm up, like our warm up routine. We'd run up the stairs, like go through the lobby. And half the time there was always like AAA games going on the other rinks. Like all these kids, like half the time they got their hands up, like you're running through the line, like slapping their hand. It's like it brings you back to like kind of like the old days. It's like you like think you're like, oh, like one of these kids, like I love it. Like they're probably like, oh, look at these Division I athletes, Robert Morris, like. So that was really cool from a sense. And like at the Robert Morris, you had the band right in the corner, like just below and right in our ears. It was pretty cool.
Just blown.
I remember like I did talk to a couple of my buddies, Nick Prkusic, who you guys are talking to later, and Jacob Coleman. We like to get a little Xbox from time to time. That's so I didn't play
naturally
with them for a couple of weeks, and ended up hopping back on. And right when I hopped back on, they were like invited me to a party in the group chat. And I wasn't responding, and all they hear is just the RMU fight song in the background. I started playing it on the mat and on the mic, and they just started dying.
Should that be the outro of this pod? Just let it blare.
Just the band just blaring.
Yeah.
Like just you gotta take out your headphones or whatever.
I think so.
The fight song, that's not a bad idea. We have a pretty solid one. It kind of bumps. We might need to like put a little hip hop into it, but it.
Little remix.
I'll mix something up.
I thought we was gonna spend the night in the studio, just mixing it up.
Those two, and then just a bunch of nothing but Cappy highlights. I know we got two other guests, but we're gonna shut it down. Yeah. or Laz just getting stuffed. Every single time. We talked about the rink. I mean, wasn't Robert Morris working with like the Pittsburgh Penguins to help fundraise for a new rink for RMU? I mean, they had one coming, and like they have been playing at the same place since they started in like 2004, right? So like, was that in the works?
No. So that's what I heard. You'll talk to Nick Prkusic a little bit later. He was there for a couple more years before me, but I was pretty sure like the boys were like promised. We got the new rink coming when they were coming in. Like that was a big like appealing point to like the prospects coming in, and like these guys like the rink's coming. We've talked and all this stuff. So I mean, and then they built this beautiful basketball facility, which is absolutely gorgeous right on campus. And then the hockey players are left with, the Family Ice Center, which I don't want to shit on the Family Ice Center one bit because it's got a lot of character. It really does.
Right.
I mean,
we're pucks in deep here.
Yeah, it is. It is the grittiest of
that could be our home ice arena.
But that's just a slap to the face of this basketball team that doesn't deserve it. According to the record, gets a new place in the hockey teams who's done so well for their program is now stuck.
It's a hockey school.
It's a hockey school.
Yeah. And I want to be clear. Like I don't have anything against like the basketball team.
No,
right. Like nobody, because like I was friends with a couple guys in the basketball team the year I was there. Like, like happy for them. They got a great facility. They got but you want to get the team that deserves it, the team that's been producing the most, and hockey, stats don't lie. At the end of the day,
I mean, how hard is it to put ice though in that arena there that the basketball team got? Like, why can't they put it?
You couldn't have said it better. We said it multiple times for sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we've been posting about. Like I posted with Florida last night, and we did UCLA. It's like you plant granted they're warm states, but you can make it work. But if you plant a hockey rink there, like
wasn't it the basketball stadium sponsored by like the main funder of?
So don't quote me on this, boys. But
You're good.
The rumor that I heard was that there was a big funder that sponsored the basketball team to build this facility, and that they didn't want anybody else playing out of that facility, meaning like hockey, anybody else. They wanted it specifically for basketball, and then volleyball got in there as well. Because I mean, it's pretty simple to put up with some volleyball nets and and stuff like that. But that's the rumor I heard. How much truth is behind it? Who knows?
Yeah, that's fair. So yeah, I mean, we've kind of been like dancing around. We should probably just say it out loud though, like how news broke this week that Robert Morris, I think it was, or last week, the 26th, that effective immediately that they were shutting down the men's and women's hockey programs. And nobody expected, they didn't warn the coaches, players, anything. And they just had like a 10-minute Zoom call from the president, Chris Howard, and the head of the board as well. I'm blanking on his name. He's not on Twitter. That's why I can't I've been shading Chris Howard all week on Twitter, Instagram. The guy's on social media accepting all these, awards around the community. And then he does this and he's not responding to anything. So that's kind of how it all happened this week. Have you been obviously talking with the guys? I mean, you're just a year removed from Robert Morris. Like, what's been the vibes or just, what you've been hearing around?
Yeah, no, it's crazy. I actually, the first person I talked to was Derek Schooley, the head coach. He just, I texted right when I saw the tweet. I texted him, what happened? He told me literally they got a call in the morning for a Zoom meeting. Went in, heard everything, wasn't able to say anything back, and then that was it. And that was like the first thing I heard, and I was just like so starstruck at how that was just how that whole process started and finished, and like how short it was, and how unorganized it was, and how disrespectful it was to everybody. Seriously. Not just within the Robert Morris community, but within the hockey community. Like, you just don't see that happen. So that's why I think everybody has taken so much light to this, because not only has the Robert Morris men's and women's team been producing great teams and great organizations and great academic numbers throughout years.
Right.
They're one of they're like an institution at Robert Morris University, like the hockey team. And I was just so starstruck. But yeah, talking to the boys, everybody's so upset about it. Obviously, we got a huge fundraiser right now that actually was started by one of my teammates, Jeff Lawson, which is doing incredibly well right now. So go donate to that for sure. Shout out. And then but besides that, we're just basically doing everything we can to try and make this turn around.
Yeah, it's like with Anchorage, like we had heard rumors around for a couple of years, that this might be something that gets cut. Same with Fairbanks. Fairbanks still around. Well, they got cut out of the conference, but
Huntsville too.
But for you guys, and I remember getting the text. I forget who texted me, but regardless, I was just like, you're joking, right? Like,
yeah, I think Laz put it in the group message, and I was at work, and I was just like, that's not real.
Yeah,
it's not a real thing. And then you read the articles, and still like how it was brought up, like you said, it was just like disrespectful for how how much those teams, those programs produce. You guys were a staple in the community, like legit, like
it is
on and off the ice. Like, it just makes no sense.
Yeah, it's terrible. And the thing you don't see either is them cut both programs, like a men's and women's program. Like, you see it later. Like, I've heard instances where, like, okay, the men's they're going to cut the men's program because they can't get a women's team and yada yada yada. This is not only one program that's been extremely successful, both not only on the ice and off the ice, but two. Because you can make an a rebuttal that the women's team. Not that there's any, because we both love each other between the women's and men's team, but you can make an argument that the women's team has been even more successful than the men's team has been. I mean, they've been a top 5 team in the country for the last, I don't know, or at least a top 10 team, but they've been absolutely amazing. I watched them in practice at least the year I was there. They're incredible.
And they just recently went to the tournament this year, won their conference, got to the tourney this year, have been twice before. And like the men's program's been to the tournament as well, have won. I mean, they won the regular season championship this year. So, I mean, like, they were a wagon looking like they could have been there. Just, was it Niagara knocked them out in the semis?
I think it was Niagara. Was it Niagara? I don't remember. Yeah.
I want to say
Bobby
so.
Moe got upset early this year for sure. They had a real good team. I thought they were going to go really far, but, that happens. But I honestly,
but the talent was there.
It's not just the people that are there right now, like the current athletes, the current staff. It's like the prospects who were committed there. Like, I remember.
Right. True.
Yeah, like I remember committing like to my school for the first time, like Ferris State. Like when I was, going on a couple of visits, I didn't have any offers. When I got that first offer and I was, full ride, parents had to pay for everything, I was, done. Some guys only get that one offer.
Right.
Now what are they going to do?
Yeah.
So it's just.
Yeah. Now with there's like already over 200 people in the transfer portal. It's late as hell in the off season. Like lineups are basically already set. And then for, seniors who we're going to have a couple on the podcast later that they have an extra year of eligibility, but what good is that eligibility if you're this late into the transfer portal with not a whole lot of options? And the president's just saying it's unfortunate. It's like, bro, you fucking did this.
Well, no, it fucks other kids up too, because if they're on that team and they're, you got a new kid transferring in, you might take your spot.
Exactly.
Like,
it doesn't do anybody good.
Out this year. Anchorage is gone, so that's 2 less teams. I mean, I guess we got St. Thomas, but still.
And what people forget too is that, like from a coach's standpoint, like I'm like talking to Schoolie, like the women's team as well. Like the reason why you have to act even more fast with this situation is because, as much as the players want to stay at Robert Morris and support them as much as they can, they got to focus on themselves and say, okay, is Robert Morris going to come back? Are they going to come back? Do I have to look for another option? And then you're left with, okay, who do we got to build a team here? We're losing all of our guys left and right. So that's another issue that obviously. So,
and I mean, now we're on a timer. That's basically what you're saying.
Pretty much.
Exactly. But I think obviously, like, that's like least priority, at this point. It's like, okay, if we're going to lose guys, we're going to lose guys. But let's make sure we get the teams back.
Yeah, absolutely. But at the same time, like you said, you got to have a roster, and there's always kids that fill that roster, but it's a shit show. I'll just say it. But I mean, like you said, these kids work their ass off for how many years you get to college, how many years you played in college, regardless. I mean, you worked your ass off to get to that point, and to make a split decision like that is just, you couldn't do anything more disrespectful.
And just the way the whole press release was worded, it's their centennial year. We're doing this to make this more professional approach or whatever. I forget how it just pissed your strategic initiative. That was the fucking phrase. And I was like, this asshole. Like, oh my God. I couldn't take it.
That something was a little fishy, and that they definitely had this plan, and that they were going to drop a huge ball on, like they did. And it was a real dick move. I'll say that straight up.
Right. Yeah, and they're just ducking questions. Like I heard that he had the meeting with players last night. Is that true? Have you talked to guys that had a one-on-one with Chris Howard?
So I actually skated with fellow Robert Morris, Randy Hernandez, who had a stellar freshman year this past year. I skated with him last night, and I actually didn't know that they were doing another conference call. And I walked into his locker room. He was in a separate locker room with me. He was like on the video call. It was like Dr. Howard. And I guess it was just a bunch of students, players, coaches, etc. I guess just asking Dr. Howard these questions, and he was deflecting them as much as basically as he could. He wasn't answering any straight questions. He wasn't, and I heard some kids were roasting him and getting it to him completely straight, and he was completely deflecting them. So we'll see if we get anywhere else with that.
Yeah, I mean, he deserves everything he's got coming to him.
Yeah, I expected him to deflect, but at least, it's the least you can do is listen to every single question and try to give an answer. But it doesn't sound like he's going to do that. So all we can do now is, go to the GoFundMes started by former alum Bree McLaughlin. Am I saying that right?
Yes.
So we'll link to that on our page again, as well as, the petition's already done, but that had like 16,000 signatures, I think, in a day.
Yeah.
Before they cut that off. So like, it's clear. It was trending on Twitter. Everybody's talking about it.
We got Big Cat tweeting about it.
Yeah, Big Cat Barstool's all over.
Positive vibes. If Big Cat's on train, like good things hopefully happen.
You'd think so, and Spit and Chicklets supporting ESPN, people from ESPN. Bucky was on it.
Yeah,
Bucci, sorry.
Even head coach Derek Shuley retweeted our video that we made.
Yeah,
Like, he didn't see that coming.
I saw it coming. That was a hell of a video. That hit the heart.
Welcome to Pucks and Deep. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
who made that? Yeah. You boy.
Hey, Schools is a big everything college hockey fan. I told him I was hopping on the pod.
Is he?
He said it
Let's go.
Raise a little awareness for Bobby Mel. He said, tell the boys I say hi.
Let's go.
Thank you. So.
Hey, we'll have to have him on sometime because he's gonna get his fucking job back, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, and a raise for having to deal with this bullshit and lose potential recruits over this.
Like, I just don't get how do you cut a successful program? They're doing so well.
Yeah,
they're battling for tournament spot all year.
Yeah, that's another thing too. It's like transferring into Robert Morris, like, man, these guys welcomed me in with open arms. Like, I mean, like coming from Ferris State, where I had a great freshman year, solid sophomore year, dealing with injuries junior year, not knowing, going in that transfer portal and not knowing my future as a senior in college, and then basically welcoming with opening arms, the whole entire hockey staff, from trainers to equipment managers to everybody, like. It couldn't have been a smoother transition. And like, I tell everybody all the time, they're like, oh man, Ferris must have been so cool. You got Robert Morris too. I tell them like, yeah, man, like Ferris State was amazing. Like really small town, like one bar everybody went to, but Pittsburgh, you got to go downtown Pittsburgh. But I always tell people that I wish I had like an extra 3 years to spend at Robert Morris with the hockey program. Cause it was amazing.
That might be the quote right there.
Yeah. I think.
I mean, we were in Pittsburgh. That's another thing. Like they
pleasantly surprised about Pittsburgh just in general. Like it's just a good spot. Campus is in good location.
We had beautiful weather too. But I mean, they helped host at PBG Paints Arena the Frozen Four this year, and it was hosted by Robert Morris. And then how are you going to go from that to just shutting the program? Like, at least think of the effing timing here. Like, what the hell?
We didn't make the tournament the year we hosted it. So we're shutting down everything. Press the button, like, come on.
Yeah, it makes no sense. I mean, like, and they could have, like, their team was that set. I mean, Niagara, I think, won like 5 games. They just got hot in the playoffs. Like, it just, like we said, like, bad bounces happen like that. But they were a wagon this year. So, yeah, just, I don't know. None of it makes sense. But hopefully by, getting you on here, we're going to get the word out more, link more to the GoFundMe, have that blow up, and, yeah, just turn this shit around. Get back on top. So, I mean, we can't have Mercyhurst win the Atlantic. Then Johnny wins.
Yeah.
Nobody wants that.
Nobody wants that.
Johnny already won this past year because he's a UMass analyst too. Like,
he's double dipping.
Yeah, we heard about it.
The house that Johnny built.
Yeah.
He started there.
Double dipping, he said. Justin, if you had one thing to say to Howard, what would you say? Face to face.
Howard?
Yeah.
I would just, I really don't want to I really don't want to bash anybody or anything like that, but I would just honestly tell him, and I know people have told him to look in the mirror, but I would just tell him to just open his eyes and open his ears and listen to what these kids and these players and these coaches are saying. Because if he's telling people that he really understands how people are feeling in this situation, then he really doesn't, and he's really not listening because he doesn't know what these people are going through right now. So that's honestly the main thing that I would tell him. Just honestly open up your goddamn ears, open up your eyes, and see what you're doing to these people and listen to what they're trying to tell you. Put
yourself in their shoes. Have a little heart.
Exactly. Yeah, because it definitely looks like, I mean, if he's deflecting and all this, he probably doesn't read everything on social media because, how can you when you are the president of a university? It's a big job. But then he just says, it just sounds like such a tone deaf statement, everything that he's writing out there right now. And then you look at his old profile. God, I went down such a rabbit hole of his Instagram this past 2 weeks, and I was just gearing up. I saw him wearing a Northeastern sweater after they'd beat Robert Morris women's team in the tournament this year, and I was just like, what the hell? Like, he probably lost a bet, but he didn't even mention it. Just little things threw me off about this guy, and then he does this. So yeah, I just think he's not aware of everything that's going on, and he's just kind of bulldozing right now. Yep. It's like you got to step back and look at what's in front of you. So. Hopefully this helps. 100%. Yeah, I don't know. Is there anything else that you want to touch on, Justin, that we haven't brought up? I mean, I want to just roast Laz forever, but we'll get you back on with him so we can get a little back and forth probably. Yeah. Be better there.
Yeah, no, boys. Nothing else I want to touch base on. I hope this obviously will bring more light to the situation. I hope your 2 other guests will bring even more light to it. Yeah. And honestly, boys, I love what you guys are doing. I love all this shit. Everything college hockey, baby.
Appreciate it.
I absolutely love it. If I can spend another 4 years at Bobby Mill, I would. So you can just post Cappy highlight tapes all day.
I'll work it into your clip. Don't you worry about that.
Yeah, you're getting some highlights going.
Yeah, if you got some special footy out there, just DM it to me, and I'll hook it up. But either way, I can dig through some Atlantic tape. I've done it. I've spent the time. I'll get there.
Yeah. What's your burner account on Twitter so I can?
On Twitter? Well, what am I? Well, it's my full name. Ain't no burners out here.
There's no burner.
I was saying, what's your burner account that you're shitting on Dr. Howard with?
Oh, no, bro, I tweeted. Or no, that was Instagram. I tagged him in a comment. That's what it was. And then I've just been reading through.
Yeah, we're just using our personals. Just
I want him to meet me. Even though he's an ex-Air Force, he's served time in Afghanistan, I think. I want to just, fist fight him one-on-one so then I could sue him afterwards.
Hey, I get it. It's a business. But it gets to a point where shit's wrong and shit's fucked up, and you got to do what's right in the situation.
Facts.
Yep.
Yeah, it is what it is. Like, exactly. We're not
going to the tourney's not right. I don't know what it is.
Exactly. If pucks in deep isn't right, I guess we're wrong. Let me
ask you boys this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who's your guy? And without being fucking front runners right now, and who do you guys got for your picks this year for NCAA? Who's winning it this year?
Who's winning it all?
This upcoming year.
I mean, I think Michigan's got to be up there, even though it's Big Ten. North Dakota's going to be back. I mean, they got so many transfer portal guys coming in. I don't think UMass is going to be back just because they lost so many people.
Who's your that's a broad question. Who's your guys' sleeper to
sleeper
make a splash this year besides Bemidji State?
Getting all our guys back with the goalie.
I don't know.
Yeah, your best player.
I'm trying to.
Yeah.
By the way, I played against Dickman a lot this year.
Yeah.
He played for Bemidji.
Yeah.
Dicky.
He was my roommate.
I mean, I played against him while I was at Ferris for 3 years, so I knew the kind of player he was. Dude, I didn't think he was like gonna transition that well to pro. Obviously, he's huge, but fuck, dude, he looked good.
Yeah.
We tried to have Dicky on the podcast too, and we said to cut it all because it was so bad.
Was he?
Yeah,
he was.
It was good.
It was all funny stories. Nothing we could share.
Yeah, we couldn't. It wasn't PG. You know, it was tough. Wasn't rated E for everyone.
That guy.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of stories about him.
He was a beauty. He has to be on our late night pod.
Yeah, we're kidding. But for sleepers though, who do you have to take? One sleeper right now.
And I can't say Duluth. I mean, it's not really.
You can say they're not really a sleeper. No, that doesn't count. Fuck you.
I'm just such a Dogs guy. I hate talking any other team. You know.
Oh, you got to say one team.
Well, you go first, man. Why are you putting this on me? Michigan's not. Let me see. I think Wisconsin could be back.
No.
That's a sleeper, though.
No.
That's a sleeper.
Nope.
How is that not a sleeper?
It's a sleeper. They're just not even a...
Okay. But Wisconsin, I mean, they don't have to go through Bemidji this year. Bemidji ain't going to be back.
Yeah, they will be. They got their whole team back. But I'll take to go to the Frozen Four to win it all. Is that the sleeper?
Yeah.
To win it all? Fuck, that is really hard. You can't go anything. But I'm going to...
Bro, it's
I'm gonna
tough to predict.
No. Penn State. I'm going to go Penn State.
Penn State?
Watch them come.
Wow.
Watch them come.
I think
they go with the recruits they got in transfers, though, and their student
Yeah.
section's nasty. Like, why would you not want to go to Penn State? I like Penn State.
Don't count out Mercyhurst. Jonathan Bender.
I'm going Penn.
Bendorf. Fuck.
Wow.
Bender. You did not call him Bender.
You know who I like this year to have a big bounce back year?
Who?
Hit us.
Bowling Green University.
No, stop it.
Come on.
Who do they have? Who is left?
That's his point.
Oh. You just throwing shade right now?
Oh, what do you mean?
Who? Okay.
I like Bowling Green this year.
You like Bowling Green?
Really do.
Okay. Somebody has to. You know, that's big.
I mean,
I think their colors are cool.
they're getting as
They do
many
have cool
wins.
colors.
They're getting as many wins as Robert Morris this year.
Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah, I got Robert. Actually, yeah, that's my sleeper this year. Robert Morris, baby. They're coming.
Dude,
Could
you imagine the story if they got the program back and went to the
just
tourney?
get the team back. I mean,
They had it. They have the
I'd
team
watch
right
it.
there, and their players are back.
Yeah. Or I would say a sleeper team would be something like Dartmouth or Harvard, a team that we haven't seen in a year here.
Ooh,
That's going to be back
Harvard.
in ECAC.
Good pick.
Cornell.
Yeah, fuck.
Cornell.
But Cornell's not. I mean,
They're
like,
not a sleeper though.
yeah, I think Dartmouth had more recruits that stayed. Like, you know, Cornell lost Morgan Barron. A couple
Alabama Huntsville, first year back.
Huntsville.
They're out this year.
They're out.
2
Are they
years.
officially out?
Yeah, they're
out again,
officially out since they're not in since the CCHA said no.
Yeah,
And
but I heard they might join the Atlantic.
They
I mean,
might-
the Atlantic has an opening now. Fuck, man, this all sucks
Exactly.
though.
Yeah, I know. How Huntsville takes that spot.
I'm gonna lose it. I love Huntsville more than anyone, and I don't want them to have it. It's not their spot. Like, that's just
It's not their place. It's not their time.
it's not, man. Like, they could have joined on top of that. Let's get 12 in the Atlantic. I don't give a shit.
No,
But, like,
that's what I thought. Honestly, that's
Yeah.
what I thought was going to happen.
yeah, they deserve it. Like,
that's actually a good conference for Huntsville. I mean, I played against them.
Right.
The WCHA and the Atlantic are very similar,
right,
in my
but
opinion. Obviously, the
agree with
WCHA
that.
with Mankato and Bemidji, Mankato the last 5 years, but Bemidji's been coming on the last couple of years. But I think WCHA is a little bit stronger. Like Lake State,
yeah,
they got a couple of sneaky teams. That are
Lake
really
State's
good in the
solid.
conference.
Michigan Tech.
fucking Northern went to the championship.
Yeah, dude, Northern's
sneaky.
Good.
we gotta do two more interviews
Yeah,
still,
fuck,
but
man.
I'd love to have you on again, Justin, if
thank
you're
you
willing
guys
to come back on.
Thank you guys so much. This was honestly unreal. Whenever you guys want me to come on again or do anything,
Yeah, absolutely,
shit on
dude.
Laz, whatever you guys need, you guys let me know. You guys
Yeah,
are honestly killing it right now. Keep fucking killing it.
Thank
Hey,
you, man. We'll have you back on.
Appreciate
for sure.
it, brother. Now we welcome on a very special guest, one of the captains of your Bobby Moe Colonials there for the women's team. We have Lexi Templeman joining us. Lexi, welcome to the show.
Yeah, and thank you for having me. I'm really honored to be on the show.
Hey, pumped to have you on. We had to have the Cappy.
Yeah.
I mean, what's this week been like for you? You know, coming from, I mean, you are one of the leaders in that locker room there, and you guys just had a historic season, running the table in the playoffs there just to make the tournament this season. And I mean, the men's team, or like Robert Morris hosted the Frozen Four. Like, all this is so unexpected is what I'm trying to say. What's this week been like for you guys?
Yeah, honestly, the last week has been a complete nightmare. Never did I ever imagine that I'd be sitting here having to talk to you guys about the cancellation of both the men's and women's ice hockey programs at Robert Morris. But here I am, and obviously it's something we never wished would have happened, but in all reality, that's what we're faced with right now. So it's been a really challenging week for myself as well as my teammates and the men's team, all of our staff, our fellow student athletes. Everyone's kind of taken back by this. So it's been a really hard week to say the least, but and it doesn't really seem to get any easier as the days pass.
Obviously, this week has not been easy for you guys. I heard, were you part of the call with Chris Howard, or Dr. Howard, as he likes to be addressed?
Just Howard. He doesn't deserve
just straight up Howard yesterday. I heard he had like a little bit of answering questions for players and staff there. Were you part of that yesterday?
Yeah, I was. You can call it answering questions. I'm not really sure how well he did with that. He kind of avoided everything that he could, but yeah, it was supposed to be a question and answer session, and I was part of it, but
yeah, more just a Zoom.
It wasn't really what you would expect.
Yeah, and was like the initial Zoom call, I'm sure you're part of that. Was that, so it was only like 10 minutes and there was no heads up beforehand either? Like you guys just got an email, show up, mandatory session, and that was it?
Yeah, so we got an email at 12:45 last Wednesday, May 26th, and the email literally just said important meeting, student athlete meeting at 1:45, I think it was, and a bunch of my teammates were texting me like, oh, I wonder what this meeting's about, like, I wonder what's about, like, who's going to be on it, and I had no idea. Nobody had forewarned me either, so I was like, oh, yeah, I wonder, and then a couple people threw out the idea, like, oh, maybe it's, like, to discuss our championship rings, like, we just won a championship, and we all jumped on the call at 1:45, and as Dr. Howard's breaking the news that both of our programs are getting cut with no reason.
That's just like effing, like,
just the exact opposite of what you're expecting, and it's just,
yeah, and it's just like tone deaf. Like everybody in the building, everybody but the two people who called that meeting are expecting something different, something completely different, because, you know, it's two successful programs. Why would they have you all on a call? Like, it's COVID still, so maybe that's why. Mm-hmm. Or like, yeah, you guys, you know, won the conference, like maybe that, and it just, yeah, out of nowhere. Have you been a part of talks with Bree McLaughlin, another RMU alum there, to, you know, get this GoFundMe going, you know, try to get the programs brought back? Where can people go to find that, and, you know, how is that coming along?
Yeah, so I mean, you can pretty much take down any social media right now, and even search the hashtag Save RMU Hockey, and
True.
A lot will be pulled up. And there's a GoFundMe that's going on, as well as Bree and her husband Logan, who is actually our assistant coach since I've been there, and he was there before, but they are taking donations directly to their email, like larger donations as well. So that's good. We've been in lots of talks as a team with Logan and Bree, you know, just to see what we can do if there's anything additional. So they seem to be kind of taking the lead on all of this, and kind of like flowing the information down through the rest of the alumni and like the current players as well.
That's awesome that, you know, you have an alumni with, you know, a lot of following there, and that is, you know, taking it, you know, the initiative by herself, and with your assistant coach there and her husband Logan to,
and like we've talked about the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Steelers GM, and
yeah, it's like, it's,
and the whole Barstool Big Cat, like there's, and ESPN, there's multiple people trying to help you guys out, and Howard is just still just lost.
Well, we keep saying Howard. I mean, like, Morgan O'Brien's behind this too,
yeah,
the chairman of the RMU committee there, but he's not on social media, so it's not as fun to pick on him. And then you go to Dr. Howard's handles on Instagram and Twitter, and it's just him accepting awards before this.
I can't believe he still has a social media.
Yeah, I thought he'd go private when I tagged him in one thing, and then I was just like, no, this guy,
he's just eating it. Yeah.
He's sticking by it apparently. Which
he deserves everything's coming to him. But I mean, yeah. What's the group message like on the team right now? Like, like, I just want to know, like, what's being said. Is it just bad? Does Howard not want to read this group message?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's really tough right now because we're all trying to stay connected as a team and stay united as a team, but obviously people have to do what's best for them and start looking elsewhere for programs for their own future. Right. So it's really hard. It's a mix between a lot of emotions and disappointment and anger towards Dr. Howard and the decision being made, but as well as it's kind of like people are walking on eggshells a little bit because everyone's at a different point, and everyone has a different opportunity to move forward. So it's kind of hard. It's a really touchy subject. Obviously, when we're talking about saving the program, everyone's still completely on board to save the program and move forward. But I think that we're still trying to stay united, but it's also it's a really trying time right now for everyone.
Right. It's such because like it didn't happen. The timing of all this is terrible because there's a lot of players, trying to transfer in both men's and women's as it is. And then you go so late in the off season here out of nowhere and like pull the rug out from underneath both programs. Like it's hard for these players, everybody has a different situation. So yeah, it's kind of like, it something has to happen soon for all of this. That's the worst part is that, you can fundraise as much as you want, but decisions have to be made in, a couple of months here before the season starts. Otherwise, then, yeah, it's just so.
Right, and it's hard too because, people have to know, people like to have a plan going forward next year. And, I'm a person that likes to have a plan, and this is all really hard. We're 2 months from August, and usually move back to school, like early, mid-August, and everyone's kind of at a loss. Nobody knows what they're doing. And it's a really tough situation because, like you said, the timing probably couldn't have been any worse.
No,
they could not have left us much later at all, if any later, to try and find a new spot.
Yeah, it's terrible timing, and it's, I don't know. We talk about growing the women's game too, and now you're cutting another program, making it tougher. So it's
another successful program.
Yeah.
Doesn't make it any easier. But we are a glass half full podcast.
Yeah.
So I think we should touch on the good times at RMU right now. Let's talk about this season specifically. Like you guys kind of up and down season, like you lost 2 before going into playoffs there and then just run the table, to win it, to make the second tournament appearance for RMU women's. Is that correct? In history, talk about this season, that run for you guys. What was it like to get back to the tournament this year?
Yeah. I said since the beginning of the year, my class, being a senior class, we've lost in CHA finals our last 3 years. And we had, every year before us, had won a ring. Every year that I'd played with before, this past year had won a ring from winning the CHA championship. And we were kind of like, well, we're the first class to graduate after the 4 years that had the rings, and why not us, kind of thing. So we've been working so hard for it, and we had, just missed out. We had an overtime loss last year, so we had barely missed out last year. And so I think that we were just so driven and determined this year that we weren't going to let another opportunity slide by us.
Yeah, and you didn't. So congrats to you guys. And
that's huge. And just
the program's saved though at the end of the day.
But we're trying to. So if they're listening, Dr. Howard, this is what we're trying to convince him on the good times here.
Yeah.
Right in front why not them? Exactly. Yeah. There's so many reasons, but like this season specifically, and you guys had an OT loss to get you out for the 3rd time in a row in the finals, and then wasn't it like 1-0 your last game? So just a gritty, W there. Oh God, see, this is the good stuff in college hockey. Like, clearly he's not a hockey guy, but you're at a hockey school. If you're the president, you should know, what drives these students, what's getting national attention to your school, and it's the men's and women's programs. So. So we're trying to we're steering it towards that, James. Help me out.
I know, but you're just on that note. We're still pitching to Howard here, but Lexi, what would you, on behalf of your teammates and your peers at school there, what would you say to Howard if you're face to face with him right now?
I would just say that we deserve better. The way that the situation was brought to us and the way that it's been handled, I completely understand tough decisions need to be made.
Yeah.
You're a college president. Like, we understand. And I don't think that the situation would have blown up like it did had they given us either reasonable timing or reasons in general. But also, like, if they would have said, like, you have one more season. Like, you have one more season as a program. Like, it's going to be your last unless you can raise X amount of dollars. But none of that. We weren't even given an opportunity. We were given a 10-minute Zoom call with no reasoning. And I think that he knows he definitely knows after our call with him last night that we deserve better. And like, that's not how you treat anyone. And not only us as student athletes, as hockey players, but the rest of our student athletes at RMU have also lost complete trust in him.
Yeah.
And
that too.
It'd be really hard for those student athletes as well. Because we built friendships with them to go back and represent that school after what he's done. Also with fear that their program might be getting cut as well.
Right.
It's like after what happened to us, I think that a lot of people have come to the realization like it can happen at any time and you get no warning and your life can really change in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, that could just ruin a whole school right there really easy. You know, you don't got that trust anymore. And that's, you know, that's what students, they work their ass off to get to this point. They put trust in the coaches, the other players, the school administration, all that. But now you don't have any of it because you cut your best 2 programs in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, it's like there's no amount of success, no amount of, you know what I mean? Like you guys were great in the classroom with your grades as well. I mean, you had a community presence. Like none of that seemed to matter, apparently, with this decision. So it just, hopefully all this, I mean, it's definitely been a rude awakening.
It's got to come quick. A decision, you know, I would expect
Yeah.
something to come up by Friday, whether it's a decision or, you know, not. Something big's coming up by Friday. You have to act on this right now.
Yeah.
Because players, who is it? Prkusic, no, who talked about like players, you know, having to make a decision right now what they're doing next year. Like,
Yeah, that was Prkusic.
yeah, that was Prkusic. Yeah.
Thankfully, he was not coming back, so this didn't affect him
But
too
still.
badly. But he's like, I'm talking to the guys in the locker room right now, like you are, Lexi. Like everybody has decisions to be made because you know people are coming from all over the country, different spots. They have
right,
different
that's what he's saying.
situations, career wise, and they need to do what's best for them. So everybody understands that. But like, we're trying to save a program, and like, how many people are going to be left?
Yeah.
If it's saved, that's another thing.
It
People
might be
have to
too
consider.
late. I don't know. Lexi brought up a good point there. What I mean, for you personally, you don't have to share. It can be off air too. Do you have a plan in place right now for yourself? Are you trying to stay there and save the program, or do you have to talk to other schools right now?
I mean, yeah, I've been talking to other schools, and I mean, I am looking to transfer at this point. I went to college 6 hours away from home, and I went down there to play hockey.
Yeah.
And given that I won't be able to play hockey at Robert Morris next year, I think that it would be in my best interest for my future career to look to go elsewhere. Also because for me, it would really sting to go back to a place that clearly doesn't want us, regardless. And me just being a student there. I was a member of the women's hockey team, and that will always stay with me. And just the fact that they didn't want my team, they didn't want me, it would really sting to go back to a school like that. But obviously I'm going to continue to work to save the program because I think not only for my teammates that may not have the opportunity to go anywhere, but also for all the young girls and boys for that matter that have looked up to our 2 programs and always dreamed of being a Colonial. I think that I'm still going to work really hard to help save the program.
Yeah, as a Reed, they deserve it, and we wish the best luck to you and all the players on your team and the men's team. And it's just tough all around, but you know, glass half full podcast. It's going to happen. Something will happen. This will be taken care of.
I mean, that's a great answer. Yeah, just keeping both scenarios open. Obviously, you got to do what's best for you. But yeah, you guys built up that program. Like it's such a shame that it's not going to be something like as an alumni. Wherever you go to play next season, you can't look back and see or go visit your team, watch them play again after all you've built that program up to be. That's another thing Nick was saying. Like,
oh yeah,
I'm a month removed.
Yeah,
and I wanted to come back in 10 years and watch my team, and it's like after a month, it's just gone.
Yeah,
it makes no sense. So that's just like
you always hear of like alumni weekend and going back and watching your team play, and I mean that's just not a thing. Like the team that I played on doesn't exist any longer.
That's so sad. Oh my god! I mean, you guys have like not only just like hockey aside, you have the best sweaters in in college hockey. Like it's just the colors are so nice. Those new, I mean, both the whites and the reds, like the circles,
everything. Your guys'
so
creams,
clean.
They're good. It's good stuff.
Yeah, we need one in the studio. Maybe the first women's. Do we have a women's hockey jersey up in here?
We do not. We do not.
First women's hockey jersey. I mean, just who do we got to talk to? Not Dr. Howard, obviously. He doesn't give a fuck. But who else? Don't spit it. Don't spit that out.
I almost did it
right. We'll figure that out because you guys have one of the best looks in college hockey, and hopefully you get your ring too. I mean, that's going to be worth something. It'll be the last Robert Morris ring possibly. Like it's just also surreal. It's crazy. I mean,
for sure. I mean, that was a question asked on the call last night. He did say that we were going to get them. So
all right, there's something. Yeah.
I don't know. It's tough. It's tough for RMU. It's tough for women's hockey. It's tough for just hockey in general. If you're a hockey fan, you don't want to see a college, Division I program, any program go out. But it's tough news. But
we got to lighten it up before
we do have to lighten it up. I do want to, I got a captain on the pod. We asked Prkusic here, like what advice he'd give to younger, boys in high school, whatever, going to college. But as for you, you're mentor to younger girls, like you said, at RMU campus there. But what would you say to girls watching this or listening to this, to get to that Division I level like you did?
Oh yeah, I would tell them to never give up on their dreams. I mean, I'm a 5'2" hockey player, and I've got told many times throughout my career that I wouldn't really make it anywhere, and look how far I've come. So I think that for me, never giving up on your dreams, and once again, I'm put in a situation where it would be really easy to just give up. And I think that continuing to push forward and trying to look for that light at the end of the tunnel, and just keep working through it, and you'll make it there. So yeah, definitely never give up, and no matter what challenges you're faced with, keep pushing forward.
Let's go. There's the quote right there for that quote. One. Yeah. Making it easy on us, Lexi. We appreciate that.
We have asked the other women we've had on. We had Lauren Bench and Daryl Watts on. But what would you say needs to change, if anything, about the women's game today? Whether that's in pros or college or youth or whatever it may be. Is there anything you'd change about it?
I just think I would try and change the political aspect behind it, or like the thoughts and people's mindsets behind it. I think that a lot of people have the wrong mindset as to what the women's game is all about, and a lot of people don't give it a fair chance. There's many people out there that doubt that women should even play the game, or kind of rip the game apart in general, and haven't even watched a game. So I think that I would just want to change the whole mindset and bring more attention to the positive side of the game, and bring more awareness, and try and get women's hockey more on the map.
Yeah. People, they just come in with a closed mindset like that, yeah, and they're just like, we see that in our comments too. Like when we posted Lauren Bench's quote, I mean, like the game is changing. Like players are faster, stronger, and you're seeing it every single year. Like who was that? The Olympic skater did the super fast lap, and she was talking about like you see her just flying around the rink, and you're like, yeah, that's freaking talent. Like they're scooting out there,
yeah.
Like, and then you see people commenting here that like would trip over their own two skates and they try to do a solo lap. You're like, get the hell out of here. Like, I don't know. It's just disheartening to hear some of that. Like, yeah, you just got to open your eyes and give it a chance. So I don't know. Those are my thoughts. What are you?
I don't know. It's a lot. It's more of a sad podcast.
It is kind of a sad podcast. We have to like shut all the windows when we do this too, and it is just baking in here. So if we're glistening, that's probably why.
Yeah, we're not crying.
It's a steamy body. It's not crying. There's some tears.
We are too.
I gotta take off the glasses. Like they're gonna fog up here.
Oh, that's funny. Like she's dying. She's in her AC room by herself, just chilling. We're sweating it out.
What about so you're from Ontario, right?
Yeah.
Is that correct? What's your thoughts on this? Here's a light topic. What's your thoughts on the Maple Leafs? Tough season yet again. Playoffs of the Canadians. Give me a take.
I'd like to say I'm surprised, but like I'm not at all.
Yeah. Unfortunate.
It's kind of happens every year that they even make it to the playoffs. So I am a Leaf fan, and I mean, I do wish the best for them every year, but I'm not surprised.
She's having a tough week.
Yeah, that's a super tough week. I'm sorry.
And the Penguins got put out too, so we're from Pittsburgh.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I thought maybe you'd be a Canadians fan too, but I was just like, maybe it's kind of light.
We're over here struggling with the Wild. So.
Yeah, we got the Wild, and they didn't
not
get
any
out of the
better
first
over
round
here.
either. They never do. So we're with you in that regard. It's just it is what it is. At least you guys have cool jerseys. The Maple Leafs. I want a Maple Leaf sweater in here too. That'd be nice. Yeah.
What's your in your time there 4 years there, what's your favorite memory with the girls, or just at hockey on campus? What is it though?
Yeah, my favorite memory would definitely be winning the CHA championship this year.
Mm-hmm.
We just waited so long to get there and to actually win and then advance to the NCAA tournament. I kind of wish it was somewhere a little bit more exciting than Erie, Pennsylvania, but
yeah, true.
That's all right. I mean, it was kind of close for us to travel, but no, that was definitely my favorite on-ice memory this year. It's just something that I'll never forget. And I mean, looking back, it was a great way to end Robert Morris women's hockey, I guess you'd say. Like, we never knew it at the time, but that was the last time we would all, the NCAA tournament was the last time we would all put on the jersey together. So definitely my favorite on-ice memory. And then off the ice, just honestly just hanging out with my teammates and, going downtown Pittsburgh and doing some exploring and hanging out and cheering on and supporting all the other athletes at RMU. And you can definitely tell how tight knit the community is just with how much the other athletes have came through and supported us through all of this. So we can't thank them enough for all they've done and continue to do to help us save the program as well.
For sure. Yeah. Well said.
I mean, well said. I think that just again adds to the pitch for Howard to figure it out. But
yeah, we got a long pod for him to listen to. Hopefully, in between all his meditations and telling him how cool of a person he is to himself, we'll just slip this in, and hopefully he takes it to heart. That's my hope for this one.
Yeah.
But yeah, Lexi, we really appreciate your time tonight for joining us so late on this podcast.
Latest pod ever.
Definitely
Lexi.
The latest pod. It's
toughest week. I mean, it's just
a tough week. I'm excited to open up the windows and just, get some fresh air. Hopefully everybody gets fresh air around here. Can I recommend Duluth if you're going to transfer? I'm just going to throw that out there.
Bemidji.
As a Duluth alum or Bemidji.
Yeah, thank you.
So just consider those. That's all we're going to say. But
you'd love Bemidji. Scanny's great.
Yeah. You'd love it. Minnesota in general. You'd love Minnesota.
No, seriously though, hit us up wherever you go. We'll have you back on the pod and we'll figure something out for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Whatever.
Thank you guys so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, hey, we're sorry about the situation. No, it's good to meet you too. And
nice meeting you. Anything we can do for you, we'll try to help you out because this is just bullshit. So, yeah. That's all.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good night. Thanks, Lexi. Have a good night.
Thank you, too.
Nick, the boys just swept. The boys are tired, though. You're on a bus ride home. It's an Atlantic bus ride. You're not getting home to 8 a.m. What better way to fix that than Endorphin right here? New sponsor for ECH. Thank you guys for the care package. We got a lot of bottles right here, but easiest way to go to do it, endorphin.com. Get your order today. It's really easy to use. I mean, takes 10 seconds to make. It's so easy. It tastes good. And
gluten-free too.
Gluten-free.
Ready to mix.
These guys are working with Nico Sturm for the Minnesota Wild.
Ever heard of him?
USHL they're working in. NFL they're working in.
Latavius Murray.
These guys are on the come up. Check them out on Instagram at Endorphin and again on their website, endorphin.com. That's it.
Go there. All right. Now joining us is your captain for Bobby Moe. We got Nick Prkusic, number 16. I mean, the nicest sweaters in the league, maybe the nicest facial hair on the team as well. Nick, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on.
I guess we did lose the playoff beard. That's unfortunate. Now we just got straight stubble out here, but it looks good.
I just shaved it.
You should have won stash with me. I didn't text you, though. That's on me. But, yeah, I guess we could jump into it. It's been a tough past week here. The news broke on the 26th, just out of nowhere, that Robert Morris was dropping both the men's and women's program. I mean, where were you when you got the news of that? I mean, you guys got like that Zoom call notification. Just take me through that whole, BS.
Yeah, I mean, I think I was on the golf course actually. So just checked my phone. I got a group or a text from one of the guys saying they just cut the program, and I was like, what? Obviously pretty startled. And then just phoned a couple guys and we just talked about it, and they said what happened, and it's just pretty devastating news. I mean, I just graduated, but I mean, just what those guys are going through right now is really tough.
Yeah, I mean, just unprecedented. There's teams we were talking about, both the Alaska teams there. I mean, Huntsville, something you can kind of see it was brewing, but Robert Morris, basically on top of the Atlantic every single year, not a program that you would see coming down. I mean, the women's team just made the tournament. You guys were right there this season. Doesn't really make any sense. And then you find out that, this week it was just basically two people, the president, Chris Howard, and then Morgan O'Brien, the chairman of RMU, were basically at the helm of it. Have you been following the story with that? Have you gotten any answers from either of those two guys as this week's progressed?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been too hands-on, obviously, because I'm not really with the team anymore.
Right.
Just hearing from the guys, they've been doing a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff, like fundraising, talking to people, trying to obviously get the program back. I know they had a Zoom call with Dr. Howard yesterday, I believe, where he kind of answered some questions for them. I don't know how well it went. Obviously they didn't get the program back. He didn't reinstate it right there.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
they're still pushing for that. And I think that's kind of, what they were hoping for, and maybe not there, but to try and get some answers. And, even like a goal of what they need to raise to, obviously get the program back.
Yeah, man, it's tough times, and I feel bad for you for all the alumni, all the process, or the recruits coming in, and just everyone involved. It's just a shitty situation. There's no other way to say it.
Yeah.
I mean, what's
100%.
And there was no, for you, you already knew kind of at the end of the season you weren't going to take that extra year eligibility, that you're going to, take the next step in your hockey career, or was it? Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. I committed to 4 years. Just decided like
it's time.
5th year wasn't for me.
Yeah.
I kind of looked at maybe transferring, but just overall decided I wasn't going to do another year. So I just wanted to move on. It was a good experience all around. So I can't complain. I had a good 4 years.
Well, at least, I mean, I'm kind of happy. I'm happy for you then that you got all 4 years there, and that, this decision didn't, affect your plans in hockey like the rest of the men's and women's team. Like, that is,
I mean,
one good thing.
Like, I committed to 4 years, and I remember Derek was when he was recruiting me, he took me out to dinner, and he was like, all we ask of our players is leave the program better than when you found it. And I was like, our last year we did a really good job. We built a good culture, great group of guys, put everything we had into it. I mean, tough playoff series, but I mean, that's the way it goes. We had a good team. And then, a month and a half after you're alumni, you're kind of enjoying that. And then to have the program like gone, it's like, 5-10 years from now. I talked this about with someone else, is like, people are like, oh, where do you play college hockey? And I was like, I'm gonna be like, Robert Morris. And be like, oh, like, never heard of them, right? So
damn,
I mean, that's definitely a tough part of it.
Damn, I didn't think about
being
that.
An alumni of the school, you kind of want to look back and see how the program's grown, and everything we heard was like, they're looking at building a new facility, upgrading the one we had.
Right, that's what we were hearing.
Things.
Yeah, because
that's why it's such a surprise, right? So.
Yeah, I mean,
that was part of the story that both. I mean, you guys were working with the Pittsburgh Penguins. I mean, like, the Frozen Four was hosted by you guys this year at PPG Paints Arena there, and then I mean, like, part of on the board of trustees was the Pittsburgh Steelers GM.
Yeah,
and he dropped out.
But how do you have all that and hosting the Frozen Four to cutting your program after a successful season?
Yeah,
it's just, I don't know.
Makes no sense. The timing of the whole situation, like how tone deaf the statement was, it just looks like, they didn't, obviously nobody was, warned of any of this. They didn't take any, discussions from people around them. And there's just like,
timing was definitely the worst part of it all.
Right.
Because so many guys are going to struggle finding teams, and girls, I can't leave them out of this. Obviously they're affected just as much.
Right.
Like this late in the game with the transfer portal, I mean, you guys know how it is right now. There's like
it's insane.
250 people
play this year, like all that stuff. It's ridiculous. Like no opportunity out there, barely any. So
yeah,
just makes no sense. And I don't know. So that's why we're trying to push towards this GoFundMe. We'll link at the end of the page as well. But I mean, we can go back to. I kind of want to touch on just how you got first committed to Robert Morris there. Like, I mean, you had 2 huge seasons, and didn't you win the AJ back-to-back years? Like, that's not a big deal. So I mean, what was that recruiting pitch like from Coach Derek Shuley there? What made you choose Bobby Moe?
I mean, honestly, like, they're the first school to show interest. I didn't have much interest my year before my age out. And then I just trained really hard, had a good showcase, and they were the first team to talk to me. They flew me out within, a week, 2 weeks. Cool. And then, like, pretty much by the end of my visit, had the offer. And, when you're an age out, you never know what's going to come. So, and obviously, like, I was pretty grateful to, pursue education and hockey at the same time. So, it was a really good situation. I also love the school. With those smaller schools, like, it's real tight-knit community. So I think I like that aspect of it as well. And, location, reputation inside Atlantic hockey also was a big thing. Like, when I was looking at Atlantic teams, it was like looking back on their past success. It's like, oh, these guys compete every year. And that's why I was like, I want to go to Robert Morris, right? So that definitely played a big factor.
Yeah, pretty big pitch there. Plus, I mean, you guys got a new locker room. I think it was at 2015 too. Like, the locker room looked pretty nice.
It was either the year I came in was the first year, or maybe the year before when they renovated the locker rooms.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, all things were pointing to go. You know, like you got the new locker room, working towards the new facility there. You're, you know, dominating the Atlantic.
Yeah. What else do you want? That's tough. I mean, I'm still stuck on what you said about the alumni, or like you're an alumni.
Yeah, you're shook over there right now.
It's just like, I don't know, that hurts, man.
Yeah. No.
Like, I played for the school that doesn't exist anymore for no reason too.
Yeah, you don't want to think. I mean, there's teams that you can mention the Atlantic to an avid college hockey fan.
Yeah,
and they wouldn't know what it is, you know. Like, and then Robert Morris. I mean, they've been there the last decade.
Yeah,
like, and it's a new team. You know, started in 2004, I think, for the men's program, and Chuli's been there the whole time. And then you don't even give the guy a heads up. Like, yeah, join the Zoom call, and then he figures it out with his team and has to, you know, break. Yeah. He had to break the bad news as well because the guy didn't answer any questions. Like. Just doesn't make any sense.
Just like uprooting so many people's lives too. Like, obviously him. You know, our assistant coaches both knew this year, moved in. You know, I guess just for a year now, but and then for all the guys who had to living in Canada, living across the states, like they're all back home already. So like, what are they going to do with their stuff, right? Like even little things like that. Leases, like our lease. So like my house, our lease was due today or yesterday. And like we had one guy there, Jordan Timmons, who's from Pittsburgh. He had to like clean the entire house, move every piece of furniture, everything out within like 4 days. Because like, you know, it's just like little things like that where, I mean, that's just bad timing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not much you can do about that, but you know, it's just a bad situation overall, right?
Right. Yeah. Just the timing definitely could have been sooner. Like give it at least a year, like warn people out. I don't know. Like you're coming off of another successful season, the Frozen Four host, you know, I don't know. It doesn't make any. But
you can obviously tell like he doesn't know anything about hockey. Like you're cutting this program at a point where now it's too late to transfer almost, you know. And now these kids are screwed. Yeah, they worked so hard to get to this point in their lives. It's extremely hard to get to this playing level, and then you just cut it for no reason.
Yeah, just
for sure. That's a big thing too. Is like with I don't think Dr. Howard's like knows too much about hockey or like the journey it takes to get there.
Yeah.
Right. So like he compared it to football and basketball. It's like
it's totally different.
Just take a year off, right? But football and basketball players, they don't go play juniors. Mm-hmm. So there are a lot of red shirts, right? But hockey, it's not like that. Like I went in as a 20-year-old. I already took 3 years off. Like I'm not trying to take another year off. So that's tough too.
Yeah. Especially the Atlantic, like there is usually, you know, older guys there too. Like that's exactly. It just is what it is. And yeah, you can't just send, you know, 60 older guys and women that are going into a loaded transfer portal this late. Like that's just, you're just screwing people over from top to bottom. So I don't know. It is what it is. We're trying to raise some money here, or, you know, raise some awareness so people can go to the GoFundMe page or just get into Dr. Howard's DMs, whatever it takes here. We're advocating.
We really appreciate that though. Love all the support.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think
you guys we're big Atlantic guys.
Like when Justin talking about it, Big Cat putting it out there, tweeting about it, Barstool,
it's everywhere.
People, ESPN, it's just everywhere, and
that's crazy.
And they're getting ripped apart. And Howard's just having it
as they should. Yeah, you can definitely tell they didn't expect it.
DMs, man.
Yeah, well, the way the whole press release was written, they kind of expected it to be a done deal, which is crazy. And then for it to just come back at them, like the ratio on Twitter alone was just hilarious. Like you can tell it's not. You guys aren't going quietly, which is awesome. And they're gonna have to fight to get this dumbass decision, approved.
Yeah,
or whatever. So that's awesome.
And if I'm Dr. Howard right now, like, and I'm seeing all that, I don't see how he can't see that as an opportunity. Like,
right.
Maybe he didn't think we were getting that support, but now that you see all these people talking about it, it's like, oh, okay, the support's there. Maybe we can expand on this and turn this into something, because, it is financially motivated. Maybe we can, turn this into more of a financial decision as well, right?
And self is not enough to change your mind. I mean, you just don't have a heart. Plus, the Pittsburgh Penguins, one of the most successful NHL franchises, supporting you.
Yeah.
And the Steelers GM. Like, what else do you need, man?
Yeah, it's a staple in the community. The whole country's behind it. You got funding from everywhere, like outside of Pennsylvania now. It is what you want. And if he still says no, then just get him the hell out of there.
It's your best sport too. It's the school's best sport, is it not?
Yeah, like hockey school. Like that's. There's
men's and women's, not just men's, not just women's, both.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't know. Man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Shocking. It's just sad. It really is. But
yeah. What about, there's one thing we just had Justin Kapelmaster on here. I probably just, is it Kapelmaster? Did I butcher that?
Yeah, good.
I hit that one right? Okay. We had him on the pod, and he was mentioning that, you might be kind of nice on the mic. Could we get some? What are the odds we can get you to do our outro song this week?
No,
Nothing.
No chance. He said.
I'm retired.
I'm retired. We were just about to play a beat. It's done.
Yeah, we got some beat makers in here.
I need time in the studio if I'm gonna drop something.
Hey man, come by
to the stew, man.
This is the studio. You're on TV right now.
We're hanging out.
Apartment.
Yeah, we got everything you need here. 3 mics, man. I mean,
yeah. Here's your mic.
What you want, what you need. We'll give you a workout. James works at the rink.
Yep.
Shoot some pucks in the off time. Good to go.
Oh man. What do you got planned for next year if you don't know?
Yeah, what's next year?
Yeah, next year I'm not sure yet, honestly. I mean, I didn't really want to go right to the coast after cuz I wasn't sure like what was going to be out there. So I still don't know. I'm just kind of staying ready, seeing what opportunities are out there and just taking it, a week at a time, see how it goes.
There we go. I mean,
don't have
pucks in deep though, right?
Pucks in
wherever you go. I mean, that's
pucks in deep.
It's the Atlantic. That's the AJ motto. Just get her deep, baby. I mean, I also saw. I mean, it is like you went out on top. You had the most recorded block shots of your 4 years there. Which I don't know if like it looked like the stats guy wasn't even trying the first few years because they put you down for like 5, 3, like 16, and then 26 big ones last season. What do you think led to that?
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, 26.
I penalty killed this last year.
That's it.
There it is. Okay, so it was accurate. Yeah, 26 big ones.
I love eating.
And the C, you have to.
Yeah, with the C, I mean, it was probably just a beat up sweater at the end of the season. That's what you love to see. So I was like, all right, for a forward, we don't get a lot of. Usually our forwards we have on here, it's like 8.
Yeah,
8 block, and I get to rip them apart. But I saw 26, and I was just little golf claps. That's all I came up with. So. Congrats on that. Coaches love to see that. I don't care where you go to play.
Yeah, that's true.
I want to see blocks.
Yeah,
so
I'll do it anywore.
There we go.
I do. Maybe we'll have you on again. But while I have a captain on, I always like for the players. We didn't ask Justin, but for the players to give advice to younger kids, trying to make to that to Division I level. What would you say to them?
Good question.
To help them get there.
Yeah, it's a great question. I think the biggest thing is just obviously the work ethic. Like, I've told this story before. To a few people, like I didn't even get recruited to go play in Brooks. Like I sent an email to the coach asking if I could go to a spring camp, and just worked my way up from there. So
great. If
you work hard and you stand out, coaches will take notice of that. And then putting in the extra work, like when no one's watching. I know it's so cliche, but all the guys, you get to college and there's like a different work ethic, even in the gyms. From juniors, it's like you can see where guys separate themselves, and especially in Atlantic, where like a lot of us are those kind of guys who have had to work extremely hard. And then the other thing is just being a good teammate. You don't want to be that guy who's a liability in the locker room. Like that word travels. Being a good teammate, being a good person, doing stuff in the community, stuff like that, like sticking out, trying to be good in every way, and then good opportunities will come.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very well said. That might have to be a quote, or at least we'll use that for something. But I think we get plenty of kids asking us. I just got a DM the other day, like, how do I get to D1? Kids from Sweden. I was like, well, maybe I'll just send this video. Yeah,
that's.
But like even like for you said you emailed your coach. Did you send him any? Did you have any tape? What did you just a cold email, or is there any video in it, or like?
Was it from the Hotmail email?
Yeah. I got my stepdad to send it out actually, but
let's go. You're delegating.
I mean, I don't even know really what it said.
It was just words. It wasn't video though.
Brooks was a great place to play, and I was like, I had a few other invites to camps that like honestly were probably just generic invites to a lot of players. Mm-hmm. But I saw Brooks and like they moved. Like you look at the team, 90% of the team's committed, and I was like, oh, that looks pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
Like they're always in contention. So I at least wanted to give myself a shot. So, I thought I'd at least reach out, and ended up working out pretty good for me there.
Yeah, playing alongside McCarr can't be too bad, like that.
Yeah, that helps.
That helps.
That'll work out. Wasn't Oliver Chow on the team too for a year?
Oh yeah.
Let's go.
All the boys.
Oh god, dude. How about his lettuce this year? Yeah. Just grew it out. It was nice. I wanted to see that all 4 years.
Oh yeah, his lettuce.
Yeah.
looked good.
Where did
Simmering?
I'm blanking. Where did he just go to now?
He went to Quinnipiac.
Quinnipiac. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. He went because he won it all at UMass, won in the AJ, the Brooks Bandits. Now he wants to bring one to Quinnipiac. I guess that's
like
Tom Brady, just going everywhere. You want a ring? You know?
Shut up.
Shut up. He's a beauty though. Yes, I mean, it's all good.
How gritty were the bus rides though? In Atlantic? I gotta know. Like, we need someone in the Atlantic to talk about these bus rides because.
Yeah, I mean we're on the coach bus, like. Rarely got a sleeper, but being in Pittsburgh, we're far away from pretty much everyone.
Right, that's my point. Yeah,
and I mean this year was pretty easy because we had our pod.
Yeah,
but when you're going up to like Holy Cross, Bentley, in the middle of Boston, it's like those are long. After a game, getting home at like 8 a.m. is the worst, and then Sunday's your off day.
Yikes.
But like also those are like some of the best moments, right?
Yeah. I mean, you're just fucking around on the bus. I don't even want to know what's going on at 4 a.m. on an RMU bus right now.
Especially if you sweep the weekend, you know.
Oh God.
Like, that's got to be a nice long bus ride home. The opposite, not so much.
That would be tough. You get swept. Yeah, you do not want to.
That's why you want to go to Robert Morris. You're like, I have a long bus ride. We're gonna win.
Long roadies.
Yeah.
I would not want that.
Yeah. How many buses broke down during your time there, though? I just got to know. I should ask every question.
One.
No, only one.
Just one?
Just one. Only one, yeah.
Okay. How long was she down?
That added a couple hours to the trip. I don't remember exactly where we were, but I remember it was one of the long road trips. Like, I think it was back from like Bentley or Sacred Heart or something. And like, we pull off like this gas station. We're just sitting there for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. We're like, what is going on? Then we switched bus, I think, and it was just, it was a fun one.
Those are the stories that you'll never forget. You'll never forget that you're with the boys and you're just grinding it out. And you all worked, like you said, all worked your ass off to get to that point. So now it's just like, it's sad. As of now, there's no more bus rides like that for RMU. So
yeah,
I mean,
and like out of nowhere, just getting that taken away is tough, right?
We asked Justin this, but if you were, face to face with, I'll just call him Howard. That's all he deserves right now.
Oh,
no,
sorry, Howard.
What would you say to him? On behalf of the students.
Yeah, I mean, all respect to him. I'm not going to say anything bad, but like, just first off, reinstate the team.
Yeah.
Second off, like, you got to find a way to make this a better situation for these guys because you can't just pull the rug right out from them. You got to do something. You can't, the way you went about it and the way he's still going about it, you have to do something that provides these guys with more of an opportunity than they have.
Yeah.
So,
right.
Take care of them.
I'm just trying to relay that message.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's not easy for him. We feel for all the RMU players. I wish we could have all of them on the pod, but it's just tough times. I hope they all get picked up or figured out, something works out for them. Or they just, like you said, just reinstate the team. That'd be the easiest way to go.
Reinstate the team before we have to make our own.
And there's still how many players in the portal right now? Just reinstate the team.
Yeah.
Like it's just like.
At least get one more season so then they could easily transfer out after.
Yeah.
Like, because you have so many recruits, like whatever it takes. Like, I mean, that's the worst case scenario.
There's just
one
no
more year.
And there's
second worst.
There's fans again next year, so you're making money again.
Yeah.
It's not like you're going through another COVID season, so it's just like 1 year at least, you said.
And there's been like letters from a bunch of companies that, have a bunch of rinks in Pittsburgh, like people that are willing to work with, the school that have came out this week too. So like, it's not just the Penguins. It's not just the Steelers, it's everybody in Pittsburgh, everybody in Pennsylvania is like ready to chip in and get this done. So really it's just a matter of, listening and actually like, collaborating on an idea here.
Maybe the NCAA could just help out a little bit.
That would be sweet. Yeah. Haven't heard from them yet, but we'll get there. Don't worry. ECH is on the case though.
That's all that matters.
That's what you want. But do you have any other questions, James?
I don't. Nick, is there anything you want to say while we have you on, man?
No, I would just say thank you guys for having me on. Appreciate all the support throughout the year.
Yeah.
I mean, even our smaller schools, Atlantic team, you guys show us a lot of love. So
absolutely,
we see that too.
And you guys deserve it. You guys put in the work and you play good hockey. You win games, and doesn't even matter if you win games. They put in the work to be there. So Atlantic deserves more loves. But like I said, we're trying to grow this conference. But you take out one of their best team. What now? What?
Yeah, the best sweaters, arguably. I'd say
you guys
too.
do have the best. But we need to get one still. I still need one.
Those are minty.
Alha's underrated too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. it gets so much crap for no reason. It's just like because people are just soft, they're not gritty, they're not ready to go in the corners.
Yeah. Like, well, I don't want to even say that. I mean, it's been good, but like the respect factor, I think a lot of more
it's going up,
and people are like, that Atlanta can compete.
Yeah,
you see what AIC did for the past few years. So.
Yep. So. And Air Force has made
it
to there. I mean, it's just
and usually there's upset. Like this year, I mean, North Dakota actually, took care of business. But I mean, besides the first period, it was neck and neck, and then there's been upsets other than that, like St. Cloud going down, Air Force upsetting.
Yeah.
Like it's right there. I mean, you guys when RMU played the Gophers tough, like, and that was supposed to be just a David versus Goliath. It wasn't.
Yeah.
So like
anything could happen in college hockey, man. It's just men against men out there. It really is. And
just get high chips off the glass, get it deep, and then just let the boys play.
But man, congrats on a hell of a season, hell of a career there and time there. But we hope you get your program back, and
we're giving you the ECH bump for wherever you go as well. Yeah. So we're promoing this out there.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Hey, if you do end up in the coast, I heard Wichita's a good spot. My buddy's playing for them right now, so they're looking for help. But hey,
I appreciate it.
There you go. Or the Iowa Wild.
Iowa Wild. Yeah, you deserve to go on the A. You're going the A.
They're going to be missing some people. So, we'll get you up here in Minnesota. Visit the stew, spit some bars.
This episode, we'll have a good time. We all put it out on Friday.
Right, and
we'll
man, he's going to write.
He's going to write.